Hello everybody and welcome to the show!
Yay! It's another episode of the Video Game Losers!
The best episode.
Is it?
I meant to say better than that new toy smell.
Why is that?
Because it's video games, and video games are objectively more fun than toys.
Well, if you disagree, leave a comment below. I'm not trolling for comments there. This week we're going to talk about Portal. We're going to talk about some of the spin-offs. We're going to talk about some of the other fun stuff from Valve. And then we're going to discuss some other video game stuff. We're going to use this episode as a way to, I don't know, do some mailbag stuff and talk about video game stuff and cover some other game stuff. So, without further ado though, why don't we take a look at your video about the Portal games?
Oh no!
Well, we gotta watch it at some point, don't we?
Do we?
I think we do.
Okay.
So we might as well watch it and get it over with, right? Alright, here we go.
Portal was released on October 10th, 2007 as part of the Orange Box, along with Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2. Developed by two students of the DigiPen Institute of Technology, who made the freeware game Narbacular Drop, which features Portal technology. After showing it off to Valve, they supposedly got hired within 5 minutes by Gabe Newell himself, and ended up creating Portal, and its sequel, Portal 2. Portal is a 3D puzzle platformer game revolving around, well, portals. You slowly ease into the concept, starting out watching the portals be created, to being able to create one side, and then being able to create both sides of the portal, allowing you to travel almost anywhere. The game takes place in Aperture Science, where you play as Chell, the test subject. This place was where science stuff happened. Mainly robots, though. There's a lot of robots. Like this big monstrous thing, GLaDOS. She's the main character you hear throughout the game, giving you encouragement throughout the game. Along with jabs and some insults. She's basically a 6th grade teacher. You finally confront her, throw her personality cores into fire, and you escape backside before being dragged back in. Doug Ratman, a character who goes insane after being one of the only surviving members after GLaDOS apparently kills everyone with neurotoxin, sends Chell into a deep sleep. Chell reawakes from her deep sleep and meets Wheatley, the intelligence dampening core. After realizing Aperture Science is now basically destroyed, Chell and Wheatley find GLaDOS again, and after a bit of back and forth, now Wheatley is in GLaDOS' place, and he's the antagonist. After a while, you meet back up with him, and after the part where he kills you, you kill him instead. Of course, it's not that simple. You go to the moon, and GLaDOS learns about humanity from Caroline and sets you free. It's strange, it doesn't make any sense. But that covers the basic story of both Portal and Portal 2. But are the games very different in any way? Not really. Portal 2 is basically just more Portal, but this time, everything's been overgrown and is now broken over. Portal was really innovative for its time, and Portals still haven't been used quite as well since these games released. Both Portal games are really fun, and even if you're not the biggest fan of puzzle games, such as myself, they are still worth checking out.
Wow, that was terrible.
It was something. I like how it was so in depth. It was 3 hours long. You covered every stage of development.
You haven't watched it yet, have you?
No, I have not.
Alright.
So anyway, we're filming this not in the order that you're going to watch it when you watch it. So anyway. But Portal, so Portal 1, Portal 2. Have you beaten both of them?
No.
Did you beat either one of them?
I have beaten Portal 2.
Oh, okay.
Because we had it on the 360 when I was like 12.
Okay.
So I remember playing it and being kind of confused because it heavily relies on you knowing the first game. And of course, because I was 12, I didn't realize that the 2 meant that there was a game before it.
I think when you're 12, you should know that. You should know what a sequel is. But I did beat the first one, but I never beat the second one. In fact, the second one I only played, I don't know, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes worth, and that's as far as I ever got into it. But the first one I beat, I really enjoyed. I liked the music a lot. The Still Alive song, I remember, was really big for a while. It was played everywhere.
It's still pretty big. People still love it.
So I remember that was a big deal. But here's the thing. Did you know that have you ever done any of the cheats or glitches in Portal 2?
No, but I have watched 2 full speed runs of Portal and Portal 2.
So have you watched the flying trick?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of... How do people even figure this stuff out? That's what I want to know.
I don't know how people figured out the math, but I understand how how that happens. Like how you crouch and then you go into the beam, and then you're in it, and then you fall out of it, and then you uncrouch, and then suddenly you're still flying, and it's like, wait, what happened? How does this work?
I love all those fun, wacky glitches.
But how someone figured out the math behind it, and how it calculates things in order to trick it into thinking that you're still in the beam is weird. But I always thought that those glitches made it more fun.
Yeah.
The fact that those glitches exist, and the fact that they never patch them out, just there's so much more to explore, and there's so much more fun stuff, and some of those doors and walls that don't actually exist, they're just a texture that's hanging in the air, and it looks like a wall because they don't expect you to try to figure it out, but then you literally can just float right through it. You can just run right through it if you can get there. And so
one of my favorite things in video games, specifically single player games, because in multiplayer I kind of feel like I'm cheating, but I love glitches. Like, I'm probably never going to pull them off, but it's fun to just watch them happen.
Right.
Like I was watching a Doom Eternal speedrun, and it's like, oh yeah, of course, if you go right onto this specific pixel of a ledge, you slightly fall down, and if you bind your jump to the middle mouse wheel, you can just scroll and fly into the air. Yeah. That's cool. It looks fun.
You see, I never get that deep into it, but I do try to looking for ways of solving the problems that the programmers never intended with a lot of these types of games. And with puzzle games, it's
my issue is I generally can't find the way they want me to do it as well.
Well, yes, I guess that's sometimes a problem as well. So anyway, Portal. Now, there were a couple of spin-off games, and I don't know if you're familiar with these.
I'm familiar with a few of them.
Okay, what about the Portal Flash game?
Are you sure this is a spin-off?
Yes.
Not fan creation?
This was created for Battlegrounds, and it's licensed off of the Valve game. And of course, this is, I mean, at this point, it's 2020, so this is like 9 years old, I think, at this point.
It's the last year we can play this.
Well, no, because you can get other browsers that will support Flash, even if they don't come out with new ones. You can still like download this and archive it and then play it offline and whatever. But anyway, the way that this plays is as a 2D side platformer.
Oh, I've seen this then. Yeah.
And here, if I can just skip past real quick, we'll throw the footage up on the screen.
Are you recording?
No. I'll throw it up later.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have the ability to mess around with this as if it was actually Portal. Now there's a second 2D side view. It's not really scrolling, but it's whatever side view game.
2D platform.
2D platformer called Bridge Constructor Portal.
I actually have this one on Steam.
Do you?
Yeah. A fun fact: it's the first Portal game I owned on Steam.
Well, and the thing is, Bridge Constructor Portal. Let's see. It was published by Head Up Games. I think it's right. That's right. Head Up Games.
Yeah.
Head Up Games actually, when they were developing this, they sent us a bunch of promotional material about it, and we got the promotional material and we looked at it and we said, "This can't be real. Like this can't be licensed. These guys are ripping off Valve. This is going to get shut down. This is some sort of fan creation," and we totally disavowed it. We ignored it. We paid no attention to it, and then it was actually commercially released. It came out on Xbox, PlayStation, Android, iOS. We should have actually paid attention.
Yeah. Why would you not?
Because I thought it was just like a fan-made game. I thought it was a fan game.
Did you not look at like any of pictures of the game?
Well, yeah, just because people use the logos
but
and
it used like the 2D figures from the game, and it uses all this cool stuff.
Right, but that doesn't always mean anything. Trust me. So anyway, so Bridge Constructor Portal. So then once it came out, I was like, oh man, I felt really bad. Yeah. At that point, that we did. So from then on, anytime Head Up Games like sent us press releases, we put them on the website. Yeah. We were like, okay, hey, thanks for the press release. We'll put it on the website because your stuff is apparently really legit. And in fact, we may have done some of their games.
Yeah, I recognize that logo now that you've just pulled it up on screen.
So anyway, so those Portal games came out. They were incredibly inventive on the same idea. There was also the Portal gun, the collectible.
Oh, I so badly want that.
And we saw one down at Saga Toys in St. Louis when we were down there one time. But he wanted like what, $500 for it? $300 for it?
Like that's still too much. Like I would go no more than 90. But then again, I don't really care what like condition the stuff is in as long as I can have it.
Yeah. But it looks cool. And then of course there are Portal. Well, there's at least one Portal figure.
Oh.
An actual action figure. I know they made some of the turrets and whatever as collectibles and whatever, but there is one of Chell. And we will actually be taking a look at that this weekend on That New Toy Smell.
Hey, another double part. You guys love those, don't you?
So make sure you check out on Saturday as we take a look at the action figure that goes along with Portal. So, Portal the game for video game losers, and then Portal the figure on That New Toy Smell. And then we'll have some other stuff to discuss, of course, on That New Toy Smell this weekend. But we are going to talk a couple other video game related things here on the show today.
Oh, like what?
Let's start with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is getting a couple of new characters.
Oh, I wonder who they are.
So, Steve and Alex from Minecraft.
And Zombie and Enderman. Come on.
Isn't there like a pig?
Yeah, he's actually a costume.
Oh, it's a costume.
Just like with the creeper.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's an Enderman and a zombie.
Yeah.
And they all have different moves?
They're the same character, just different skins. Because each character has 8 skins. Because there's an 8-player. So
there's a Minecraft character.
Yes.
And all the moves will be identical.
Yes.
But isn't the Enderman... Aren't Endermen taller?
Yeah.
They're like tall and skinny? So are they going to make the Enderman short?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
What about... Is there going to be a zombie pigman?
I mean, maybe in the background.
See, that's what I would want to
zombie pigmen don't even exist in the game anymore.
What?
No, they're piglins. They completely... It's new mob, new everything for the Nether update.
What? When did this happen?
For the Nether update.
When did that happen?
1.16, the start of August.
Oh, so like 2 months ago.
I know a lot about Minecraft. It's my favorite game of all time. So, and Steve and Alex have, I guess, or even just Steve specifically, have been my most wanted character in Smash Brothers since I learned they were both things. So...
That they were both things.
Like, they both existed? I'm like, oh, I like this guy. What if he was in this game that's all about a bunch of characters?
So...
The exact moment I knew it was Minecraft is as soon as he breaks through the blocks in the sky.
Okay. Well, so he's going to be stiff and blocky when he plays, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to look exactly like a Minecraft character.
Yeah.
He's not going to look like the Minecraft characters in story mode, where they're like curved arms and...
We don't mention that game, no.
What, people don't like that anymore?
I wonder why not. But the character just looks so fun to play as well. Especially with the whole building mechanic.
Wait, what do you mean building mechanic?
Have you not watched every single piece of media
I have not watched any of it. I have just heard you talk about it, and I've seen a couple random posts on like Facebook and whatever. I don't know. We're not going to sit here and watch the video.
But yeah, he can build blocks. I mean, they break after a while, but you can still build them. So basically, let's say you get someone off the edge. Oh, you can just build a ceiling over them; they can't recover. Or you build a wall so they can't get back on the stage.
Although I'm sure they'll have a way to like bust through.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're breakable. But
yeah. And that's one thing I don't like Smash Brothers as a fighting game. That's one of the reasons why I don't. That's weird. Although I've heard one of the things I saw somewhere, they had to rework every single level.
Yes, because
there's so much different stuff that goes in with this Minecraft one. Like, this is taking a long time to get it all to work. Whatever. So
like, I'm just more happy that the character looks and plays like they do in the games, similar to like Mega Man, because Mega Man isn't just, oh yeah, it's Mega Man, you know him, now he's throwing punches and kicks like Mario. But instead, Mega Man uses all of his powers, he looks like the classic games, he plays like the classic games.
One of the things that I find weird is that Mojang Studios, who makes Minecraft, of course, they're owned by Microsoft, who makes the Xbox.
Yeah.
And of course, Minecraft is like on every platform possible. But the fact that they worked with them to put their character in a Nintendo game, Nintendo is technically a video game competitor.
Well, this isn't the first time. There's also Banjo and Kazooie in the game. They're also Microsoft characters.
Oh, I didn't know Banjo-Kazooie were.
Yeah, they're the third DLC fighter, and this is the 7th.
Oh.
And when Banjo came, everyone was freaking out.
Okay, well, that would be... I would have the same questions then at that point, too, so...
It's also like Joker from Persona 5, which is from Sony. And then Solid Snake is also from Sony. Like, they've...
Well, no, that's Konami.
Okay.
It was on it...
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay,
because they did have...
yeah, I consider Metal Gear to be more of
But Metal
PS4
Gear
game.
Twin Snakes was on GameCube.
Yeah.
So,
but there was no Persona game on Nintendo consoles.
But that may be because of the mature subject matter. Nintendo doesn't like to have that stuff on their platforms.
Listen.
This makes me wonder, though, if the days of... Like when the GameCube came out, it was supposed to be, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, and GameCube. And then the Dreamcast dropped off, Xbox came, so it was supposed to be PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. And it became PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and then the GameCube became like the number 2.
Yeah.
And it was like everybody's number 2. Everybody had a PlayStation and a GameCube, or an Xbox and a GameCube. And it was... So they kind of were able to get along a little bit because they were no longer like directly competing.
Yeah.
And so then you had the Wii, which was its own separate thing, and they weren't even trying to be powerful with that. Then you had the Wii U, which was the touchscreen tablet that ended up...
No one cares about.
No one, yeah, which that... I hate the fact that did so little. And then... with the Switch, which is technically a handheld system that connects to your TV, it's just very powerful. It's like a completely different type of system. It's like we're getting to the point now, Nintendo is no longer a competitor to Sony and Microsoft. Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to start seeing more... The Vita is dead. There's no more games coming from the Vita.
Good.
Microsoft... No, not good. I like the Vita. But Microsoft is not going to be able to do a handheld system. They're never going to be able to figure it out. The point of the Xbox is to push DirectX, the programming language, what runs on the PC.
We talked about this last week.
Right.
Or the Messenger.
So the Xbox is basically a PC that hooks up to your TV. So it makes me wonder if we're going to start seeing more development where Sony and Microsoft start looking at Nintendo as... like with the Switch, like that's the handheld system we're gonna develop for.
Yeah.
Well, like we're gonna see like Halo.
Yeah.
Like the Halo franchise would have a game on the Switch.
Well, Microsoft is already doing something similar, where games that were Xbox exclusive are coming to Switch, like Cuphead. I mean, it was also on PC and Steam, but
Well,
it
that's
was
PC.
Xbox exclusive for a while, and also Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest. The Ori series, they were Xbox exclusive for the longest time, and now they're on Switch.
But that may also be like a time, like they may have bought like exclusive rights.
Oh, maybe.
Like a 1 year or 2 year whatever exclusive window.
Still.
But like I wonder if we're going to start seeing Sony franchises like Last of Us. Like they might have a Switch version of Last of Us, which is a different storyline, a side storyline that follows along. Uncharted, something like that, where we'll see them on Switch because they no longer have their handheld systems. They can't figure out how to make them work. And Switch technically is, I mean, we've seen with Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Switch Lite is a handheld system. I'm sorry, it is a handheld system. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I just see more and more of that coming together.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we keep talking about Minecraft, though?
Yes, we've got some more Minecraft to talk about. We've got the Caves and Cliffs update.
Caves and Cliffs!
Why is this a big deal? I don't get it.
Because the players have been wanting a cave update for basically as long as the game has existed.
But why?
Because the current games we have, they're just tunnels and they're too boring. No, basically, they're just tunnels. Once you've been in one, you've been in all of them. Unless you get a ravine, which is a rare spawn, or mine shaft, again, another rare spawn. It just gets very samey after a while, and there's not very much to it.
Samey?
Yeah.
You mean repetitive?
Just you feel like you've been there before. Not
like it's repeating the same area over and over? Like repetitive?
No.
Instead of samey?
No, it doesn't feel like you're doing the actions again, but it feels like you've done something a lot similar before.
But see, I always liked... here's what I'm worried about. I always liked the idea of the caves being like these small, closed-in areas, and I don't like when you go... I forget what the area is, but it's like all the purple rock... And it's like the big open areas with like the tall pathways and I don't know. Is it
Purple Rock?
Yeah, I think it's Purple Rock, isn't it?
The Nether? With
maybe
the red?
Maybe it's Red Rock.
Is there lava?
I know there's stuff flying around.
Is it in enclosed space or open?
It's like a big. Well, it feels like it's. I thought it was underground, but you can't see very far.
Yeah, that's the Nether.
Okay.
That's hell, basically.
Okay, see, I'm afraid that's what this is going to do to caves.
From what they've shown off, instead of being these small tunnels, they're going to be more realistic caves. Like, they're going to be these big open expanses. They're not going to be to the same level as, like, oh, this one's 2,000 blocks wide, like the Nether, but it's going to be a couple hundred blocks wide. It's going to feel like an underground cavern, basically.
But see, I like caves being cramped and small, and maybe you have that drop-off.
I actually really like that style, because it feels a lot more like you're on an adventure. It feels a lot more like there's more stakes to it. Because you have this big open area, you've got all this area to flee, but if you're in just this tunnel, there's enemies this way, enemies this way.
Yeah, so you got to build a wall and then dig out this way.
Yeah, but if you're in this big area, oh, there's people over here and over here. Oh, I'll just go this way, or I'll go this way.
It feels too much like the top. Like the overworld.
Because Minecraft is becoming less simplified as time goes on. This is because they split, I believe in 1.14, they split the textures out. You have programmer art, which is the classic art that I love, that I fell in love with, that is iconic to me, and you've got the new crappy textures that are super detailed. Now they're 16-bit. It's like, oh, cool. I want to use these.
And I understand, like, there's some fun with some of the stuff, like the RTX graphics.
Yeah.
And the lighting effects, and some of that stuff is fun to play with in some worlds, but I like the core barren world where you're very much alone.
Yeah.
You have to fight for survival. It's very much like you are responsible for finding your food, getting your resources. Maybe you'll find a village, but in the village, there's not going to be a whole lot of help there,
And I found that both from playing on multiplayer servers and even running my own realm, I much prefer solo Minecraft to anything else in Minecraft. Multiplayer is fun, but Minecraft was built around that sense of aloneness, that sense of there's no one around to help you.
Right.
You are alone. And multiplayer completely removes that. You can be building a big house while someone's mining, and there you've just two important things done. And it just doesn't feel like the same game. Solo Minecraft and multiplayer Minecraft are completely different games in my eyes.
Alright, also, Caves and Cliffs brings copper.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's important.
Well, they also had another last update, so...
Does this copper conduct electricity?
No, but there is a new thing that does. And it's a plant!
Okay, let's not talk about it then. What about the glowing octopus thing?
Can I go scream for a minute?
No. I want you to settle down. I don't want you to rant. I don't want you to rant too hard. All I want, why? Just very simply, why is I don't want you to sell me on the other two.
Why I hate this new one.
Yeah, because the other two are gone, so they're not an option. So don't talk about the other two, okay?
Okay.
The only option is this one now, because it's the only one that exists now. So why is this a dumb one or a bad one to bring in?
Alright, well, first off, not only was it the only mod that doesn't add a new style of gameplay, it also doesn't do anything. Whereas the other two added new ideas and concepts to play with, like ice magic or flowers, I guess. This one just slightly glows in the dark underwater, which could be useful in a few specific areas, except it had a distraction mechanic teased in the official trailer, where everyone who goes to talk about it, they get distracted staring at the glowy thing. But it was confirmed that it doesn't have that distraction mechanic. It's just a squid that lights up underwater, which is completely useless.
But
like it doesn't even cast like a big light around it. Like if it casts a big ray of light even 10 blocks away, sure, I can see that being useful, but okay, whatever. But what it does instead is just light up maybe the blocks around it. It just glows. It doesn't light up anything around it. It doesn't try and add anything new to the game. It's just, hey, here's a squid that now slightly lights up. And it's underwater too, which you aren't normally going to be in Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't like underwater in Minecraft. I never go down there for anything. I never mess with it.
I have a friend who loves underwater mining, but I don't understand how. It is a lot more dangerous than above water mining, I guess you could say, but it's not fun. It's not better. Just because you find a cave that's underwater doesn't mean it's going to have more ores and more loot than a cave that's not flooded. There's going to be the same amount of loot.
I think this goes back to, again, the style of gameplay. And this is one of the reasons why I like 7 Days to Die so much. And I really enjoyed Minecraft, when you guys were little and we first started playing it, the idea of you're dropped into a world, you have nothing, you have to build a shelter, you have to get resources, you have to find food, and then stuff starts coming at you and trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's 7 Days to Die, that's what Minecraft was. Minecraft now seems too friendly.
Yeah.
It's too much about exploration. It's not as much about the survival. It seems like a lot of the danger has gone away from it, and it's more about building pretty things.
Yeah. I have actually been complaining about Minecraft for multiple years, saying it's not hard enough. Because one of the main additions, and it's something I do love, so I am part of the problem, the shield, it just blocks all damage coming at you from the front if you have it up. I mean, yeah, you can't attack while it's up, but there's a zombie in front of you. Oh, he's dead now. Like, yeah, it removes a lot of the threat. You can completely negate all creeper damage, which used to basically kill you in one shot. So I definitely see it is overpowered. It should be nerfed. but the game is too friendly now. It's too focused on bringing people in than trying to keep the seasoned players staying. If that makes sense.
Is there a way to go back and play those earlier versions?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
If you go to the launcher, there's an installations page. I think it's literally the second one at the top. And you can play basically every version, every snapshot that's been previously released. Which is why there's still servers up that aren't just running on 1.16.3, which is the modern version. There's still some for 1.8 before the combat update that people apparently dislike for some reason. Like...
What? Okay. Well, anyway. All right. So you can go back and play the classic versions.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not completely locking you out with the update, but it feels too friendly. It feels too.
Well, part of it.
Easy.
Well, part of it, I think, is it got so big and so popular that it started trying to make everybody happy instead of focusing on the one thing that it was doing.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the problem. Okay. All right. So that's enough about that.
Okay.
All right. Another thing is FIFA launched. Yay.
Excuse me, can I see the front of that box real quick?
And so FIFA, the new FIFA 21 is out. I did stream some of this on Twitch today.
Yeah.
And so you can watch a little bit of that. One of the things, though, I totally forgot is that they have music that they license to play on every menu. So once you get out of the game, or every time you pause it, it like mutes the stream.
Yeah. Because
it recognizes that there's copyrighted music.
Yeah.
And totally screws up the stream. So I'm gonna have to go into the settings and turn off all the music because I forgot that it does that. Which,
why would you even do that in a game that you know people are going to try and stream?
It's one of the top streamed games worldwide too.
Okay, well, first
all the EA Sports games are the top streamed games.
Really?
But, yeah, worldwide.
Oh, worldwide. Okay. Because I basically just see Fortnite, Minecraft, and maybe Valorant trending.
Right, but you're not in France and Spain
No.
and Mexico and wherever. But the reason why I bring this up is like, one, I'm a fan of soccer, so yay, FIFA.
Oh, we haven't heard.
But the other reason I brought it up is because we have been doing more with Twitch, and I have been trying to push Twitch. Twitch is driving me crazy because they're like, hey, we want you to come to Twitch and do more, and we want to give you the options of doing more with your videos, and we want to compete with YouTube, and we want to have this platform where you can do more with your videos and whatever. And I'm like, great. But then the moment you go over there, they're like, okay, everything's restricted. Now you're going to have to stream like on 7 different days, 50 hours.
Yeah.
You got to get 10 people talking at a time in a chat. And it's they put all this stuff up there, and it's like, why did you send me all of this stuff asking me to come to your platform and then throw all these hurdles in front of me?
Yeah.
There's all this stuff that they just... I don't understand. That's one thing I do like about YouTube, is the fact that anybody can just record and you throw it up there and there it is. And I don't care about being a partner and the advertising and whatever. I'm just talking about being able to upload videos and have them there where people can watch them.
Yeah.
And so one thing I did do last week is I played a video on my laptop and just streamed it to Twitch as a stream. I just opened a VLC player full screen and turned on the Twitch studio and just streamed the full screen player and just did it that way to at least get the video up there. So I can do more of that, but then of course, the frames are not matching up and it can look a little choppy because you're streaming and whatever, because that's not the best way of doing that. But so those of you, there are people who are coming to Twitch, there are people commenting on there are people subscribing, so that's great, or following or whatever it is on Twitch, so that's great. I'm glad you guys are there.
You should follow my Twitch instead. I'm better.
But I'm just letting you know that Twitch keeps throwing all these things, and it's and I understand why they've had problems with people who have been pirating movies through Twitch and doing whatever illegal stuff, and so they're trying to manage all of that. But I wish it worked more like YouTube, because I like the way. I like the concept of YouTube. I'm just getting tired of the way that YouTube games the platform.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not sitting here going, hey everybody, like and subscribe and hit that bell and make sure you share this to all of your friends out there so that we can get our analytics up, leave a comment down below. Like, if I'm not hitting you for all of that stuff, which I'm not going to be that person. But that's what YouTube uses, all that stuff in the algorithm. Like, oh, this got a whole bunch of comments, so we got to push it. I don't sit there and beg people to subscribe on every video.
And an issue for me specifically on YouTube is that I'm a small channel. I only have like 200 subscribers. My videos either get 10 views or 80 views. Like, it either doesn't push the video at all or pushes it in, like, very good for my channel.
And the thing is, like, they keep throwing random stuff into my own feed. So, like, I subscribe to the channels that I want to watch. I pull up YouTube, and they're like, here's a video about the new Ford F-150. Like, I don't subscribe to car channels. I don't watch truck stuff. Like, why is this showing up in my feed? Like this is nothing. Like, here's the hot music video on YouTube. I have no idea who this person is. I don't want to watch this music video. Why is this in my feed?
Like, I've thankfully gotten to the point where I basically just watch, like, heavily edited gameplay videos or game reviews on YouTube, which are, like, the only two things on YouTube I can stand anymore.
Although, I found a super clean, awesome, well done. I say clean as in, like, well edited, professionally done channel called. Oh, no, I'm going to mess it up. I think it's Game Sutra is what it's called. Let me pull it up real quick. I think that's what it is. But basically what they do is they'll pick a game, like, say, Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And then they will go out and find every single platform that Mario Brothers was on.
Oh.
And they get footage of someone playing through the first level. Here, Retro Sutra. That's what it's called. Retro Sutra. So, like, here's Super Mario Brothers. It's 17 minutes long, and they play through the first level of Super Mario Brothers. And so they play it on the Amiga, they play it on the NES, they play it on the Famicom Disk System, they play it on the Game Boy Advance, they play it on the 3DS, whatever, and they have all of those going in a row. And so you can actually kind of fast forward if you want to and compare some of them. And then on some of the games, what they do is then they play the levels, and as they play them, they'll flip back and forth between the different versions.
Yeah.
And so I sat there one night, a couple nights ago. I was watching. I don't know. Maybe it was Donkey Kong. No, it wasn't Donkey Kong. It was something else. It was like an hour and something. Oh, not Mortal Kombat. I don't know what it was. But I was watching these videos, and it was like an hour long of just all these different versions of a video game, playing through. Because all the Pac-Man, I think is what it was, and so they had like 14 different Japanese home computer versions of Pac-Man.
How do you even find these?
I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are emulators and whatever. One of them was even like the little tabletop, like this thing that I have over here
that they can see. Oh wow, yeah.
This little like LED game that is. Which is a horrible version of Pac-Man that runs on like 6D batteries or whatever. But they even had this in there as one of the versions of Pac-Man that they played. They had the when Google had the doodle of Pac-Man that you could sit there on the Google homepage and play Pac-Man.
That's right.
They had that version on there as one of them. So Retro Sutra, I'm just throwing a shout out there. I haven't talked to anybody there. I don't know who's behind the channel. I don't know where they came from. It looks like they started about 5 years ago, and they started cultivating this footage and going through. And some of them they've released like updates as new versions have come out of some of these games. Then they release a new version of the video, adding the new games. on there, and it's, for me, I love watching how the games, change from system to system. And one thing I didn't realize is, like with Pac-Man, on some of the Japanese like home computer versions, because your TV at home, was it's 4x3, but it's wide, like a piece of paper turned sideways, whereas in the arcade it was standing up. So in the home computer version, they actually rebuilt the game sideways.
Yeah.
So you're playing the game, the entire maze is turned sideways in order to make it fit on the screen, but then all the characters are rotated so they're right side up. So at first I was like, man, they totally changed the maze to make it fit the screen, that just like, the Atari, that's terrible. And then it took me a minute to realize, oh wait, that's the exact same maze, they just tilted it to make it fit on the screen, which I'm showing you right here on the screen, courtesy of their channel. So
my thing is, though, is that I could see like 3 of them before I'm just done. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, I've already gotten my fill. That's just 3 games. Like,
but see, I love going through, and like I'll sit there and watch on the TV with the Roku, and I'm using the fast forward, and I'm going forward, and I'm going back. Yeah. And I'm comparing this and going back and going forward and going back and forth.
I guess it just doesn't interest me. I mean,
and I love watching the changes and what gets held over and whatever. So
I will admit, though, it is a lot more interesting than, oh hey, there's this version on the Xbox One, and then here's this version on the PS4. Let's look at the tiny, minuscule graphic differences in all of them, and it's like 2 hours long. It's like.
Yeah, and that gets into such fanboyism where they're like, well, look, here you can see the colors look richer and deeper, but, here there are more trees in the background. And it's like, okay, that's not, I'm not trying to get into a fight over which one is better and which one is worse. I just like looking, like comparing. Like here it is, Pac-Man versions comparison. It's an hour and 14 minutes long, and you can see my little red line is all the way to the end.
Yeah, how...
so much.
That's about the length.
That's what I. Yeah, that's what I enjoy. That's what I enjoy. That's why I don't get a lot of other stuff done.
Yeah. See, what I said this before, but I enjoy heavily edited gameplay videos or game reviews, which are what I want to try and create on YouTube, along with like the silly, funny, haha, like 2-minute long videos at the most.
Yeah. Well, and part of the problem is I don't want to create stuff that I see a lot of other people doing.
Yeah.
And like that was one thing, like when we started doing That New Toy Smell originally in 2008, there was no one else doing, like unboxing videos weren't a thing. Like us sitting down, turning on a camera, opening a toy and looking at it for the first time was something that had never been done. Like nobody was doing that.
Innovative.
That was something new. And I get ideas for stuff where I'm like, oh, like here's a cool story about something. And then I look on YouTube and there's like 4 dozen videos on it. And I'm like, it's been done. Like, I
wanted to at least be able to put my own spin on it.
Right.
I want to be able to, like, make it my own unique thing.
Right. That's why I struggle with these shows. Like, when we get into That New Toy Smell and Video Game Losers and some of these other shows, how much of it should be like this, where it's like a podcast?
Yeah.
Where we're talking and we're just kind of chatting and discussing, and how much of it should be heavily edited. How much of it should be, gathering up all this footage and doing voiceovers and editing everything down into a package, because that's nice to look at and that's good to watch, but there's so many other people that do that, and I'm not necessarily adding something new to it just by putting together like a history of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Like if I put together a history of Pac-Man, there's 20 other channels doing a history of Pac-Man that you can look up. The only way to make it different is to have us discuss it or review it or, something like that. So you have to add something different to it. And so there have been a lot of projects that I've started and I've kind of walked away from because I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. And I start to work on it, or maybe do 2 or 3 episodes. And then I find somebody who's been doing it for 4 years, and I've never run across their channel before on YouTube, because again, the algorithm gets so terrible because it wants to push the hot trendy channel and not stuff that's actually related to the stuff that I follow on YouTube. So anyway, so that's enough ranting about all of that. But is there anything else? Oh, I do want to add, you did a video the other day, and I will link to it down in the description.
Yeah.
It's the first level of Mario Brothers, but poorly done.
No, the first game.
Well, whatever. Yeah. First Mario Brothers, or Super Mario Brothers, but poorly done.
Super Mario Brothers, but poorly retold.
And you like hand drew
all the characters,
and then animated them, and then you used some backgrounds that were from some of the games, and
I want to create a series out of it, but the biggest issue is if you watch it, a lot of the stuff is really slow and just bad. Like I understand the joke is, oh, it's poorly retold, it's bad, but I want it to at least be something I can look back on in even 2 years and be like, oh yeah, that was pretty good.
But it's also like a minute.
Yeah.
So the fun is that it's only a minute long. Like if you did that and it was 12 minutes long, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I want to kill myself. But the fact that it's only like a minute long makes it fun, and that makes the type of thing where I want to show that to other people on Facebook. You know, that makes it one of those videos where I can send it to somebody else and be like, oh my gosh, like look at this thing, this is hilarious.
I have a few ideas for the next one I want to do. Is I actually am hiding like some big secret. Ooh.
Yeah, but you just don't want to say just in case you change your mind or something happens and whatever. So yeah. All right, guys. So I think that's going to do it. Again, we played with the lights a little bit this week. We changed the camera a little bit. We're going to have to readjust the background, but again, we're playing with things. We're playing with the mic. We're playing with the format a little bit, trying to get the best kind of mix and match. So let us know what you think. I'm not just farming for comments. If you don't want to leave a comment below, you can feel free to send an email or
boxes don't work.
Yeah, boxes don't work. Oh, yeah, we got some more comments.
How many?
I don't know, a couple. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but we did get some more comments from people saying the boxes don't work. But anyway, so again, let us know if you think that, does the audio sound better? Does it look better with the way we've rearranged the lights? That kind of stuff. Does the camera placement look better? Again, we've moved some furniture around in the house, so we have a slightly different setup here and everything. So let us know what you think. Again, not just fishing for the algorithm. You can send us an email. You can go to the Facebook group and leave a message there. You can do whatever. Anyway, we just want to know what you think because, again, we're doing this for you, and we hope that you guys like it. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. High five. High five. High five! High five!
Ow, my hand! I have the thing on my hand that hurt!
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.